am here in the only sourdough library. Now, this library is a non-profit initiative from Puratos, and it's an initiative that we started actually many years ago and that we officially inaugurated back in 2013. In this sourdough library, we do three things. We preserve the biodiversity of sourdough by isolating and identifying the microorganisms. We protect the heritage of sourdough baking by documenting and collecting the information linked to each sample in the collection. And we keep a physical sample alive here in the library as a backup in case something goes wrong in the place of origin. Fortunately, we only had to send a sample back once to its owner since we started the library. I have here two Italian sourdoughs that are particular in this collection. This one is from Altamura. We collected it back in 2003, more or less, when we were looking for bread with the taste of the good old days. Now, Horace described the bread made with this kind of sourdough back in 37 BC as the best in the Roman Empire. So we're quite happy to have that sample here. And then the second sourdough that deserves some explanation is this one. It's the starter that we acquired back in 2015 when we took over a sourdough production in La Spezia. This starter was used as a mother dough and still is used as a mother dough, and its history goes back to 1923, and it's an original panettone sourdough. Now in the total collection we have 137 starters right now, but you can discover them actually in our virtual library that you can find on the Quest for Sourdough website. If we go back in time, there is evidence that consumers did not like sour bread. There's this book from 1778 mentioning that sourdough should not be sour. It's a French book from Augustin Parmentier that describes how to deal with sourdough to avoid too much sourness. In this book, he has this quote that illustrates the daily life of the baker back in the 18th century, that there were slaves of their sourdough because they had to feed it every 4 hours and as such could not sleep longer than 3.5 hours in a row, a little bit like young mothers do with their newborn babies. Now, this made us look at a different angle at sourdough. We did not only look at the acidification power of sourdough, but also at its fermentation power. We started exploring different ways to make sourdough less sour and higher in fermentation power. This combined expertise led to the development of this Leaven Up. We achieve outstanding results by using the ancient method of making sourdough with current equipment, technology, and knowledge. From what we discovered as microorganisms in the library, we noticed that the yeasts present in sourdoughs are not only from the regular baker's yeast Saccharomyces cerevisiae strain. No, we discovered some other species. In the 40 Italian sourdoughs we have here, we found strains from the Kazakhstania family. Now, I don't have to explain to you that we used this knowledge during the development of Leaven Up. Leaven Up resembles to what you get when you feed your sourdough every 4 hours for a week or more. It gives you a sourdough with extraordinary fermentation power and very low acidity. Nevertheless, something that can be combined with more sour sourdoughs if required. In short, Leaven Up delivers a more complex flavor than regular yeasted bread. Although without the sour notes, it's something many consumers will adore. It's clearly an example of why the future of bread lies in its past. You must try it.